guys, Ezinar here with my pups. We're at House Scott, walking towards House Scott. Today the topic is anxiety, and more specifically trip anxiety. What you kind of feel leading up into a trip. Not everyone, but many people can often feel what sensations that is, and also what kind of causes that anxiety, especially when leading into such a powerful experience, but also just in everyday life too, what causes that kind of anxiety. Gonna walk them over to the bridge, get them wet, and we'll start talking. It might have been a mistake taking these guys out today. It's 90 degrees. It's early April. It's pretty incredible. River's just up ahead. I've shown you guys many times. It's a lovely river. Again, I apologize for YouTube downgrading my quality. I have no reason why. I'm recording this in 1080, but when I'm viewing it on YouTube, it does definitely not look like 1080. Just want to again bring that up and say I'm sorry. Trying to figure out what's going on. Until then, can you bear with some poor quality video? I'm sorry. Oh, it's so hot, guys. Made it to the river. It's a gator infested river. Let me dunk them and we'll start talking about some anxiety issues. Come here, Soupy. You just jumped in there? Come here. Let's go fishing. Try and catch a gator, go. Good girl. Where's Cubby? Oh, he's going in too. All right, there you guys go. She's full of energy now. Whew. I had to dunk too. It's at 90 degrees. Look at Cub, he's just like, I'm gonna take a break. Anyways, trip anxiety. So, oftentimes, people get really anxious taking psychedelic substances, or not even psychedelic substances, embarking on really powerful mental journeys in general. People get really anxious about these things. And in my life, psychedelics is just one aspect of nature that has brought me to being able to understand when I'm anxious, and if that anxiety is to be, you know, trusted. So when you're about to partake, let's just say psychedelics, it's easier for me to talk about psychedelics. Most people, their first time, don't necessarily recognize that it's such a powerful experience unless they've done a lot of research about it, and they're like, whoa, people have really varying reactions about it. But oftentimes you don't get the daunting sense of anxiety your first time doing it. You just get like really excited, right? You don't know what's about to come. Your next few times trying to embark on these experiences is when the anxiety comes, because oftentimes that first experience, especially if you took a strong enough amount, it will have taken your mind to some places it's literally never been, never thought it was going to go to, never possible for it to have imagined beforehand. And now you're suddenly about to embark on that journey again, and you haven't a clue why. You're like, what? Why? Like, why would I put myself through that again? There's many answers to that question itself. That's different for each person, relative to each person. But that anxiety we feel, that a group of us feel for embarking on such adventures, that's very similar. We all have, not all of us, but those of us that have that anxiety, we have that in common. And it's kind of like a gut-wrenching feel in your stomach, obviously. Anxiety feels just this worry, kind of confusion, and just not understanding the situation, just kind of this overwhelming but subtle sense of dread. It's not overwhelming but subtle. Is how I like to describe it, because it's just constantly there. It feels so overwhelming, but you can still manage to do your daily things. but that sense of anxiety stops you from partaking on such an adventure. Really, it really stops you from makes you think, right? Because you could be doing something that's potentially dangerous. That's what your body's trying to tell you, because these experiences have shocked your body probably before. Yeah. Giving her a bath tonight, that's for sure. So that's kind of how it feels leading up to these situations. Like, there's this sense of dread, and you don't know why, because you're about to potentially have a good time, you think, on a powerful situation where you get to explore your mind, the cosmos. But that in itself is where the dread comes from, because you really don't know what that is. You never know what that is. You think you do in the experience, you learn, and it's amazing, and then you come out of the experience and you're like, what the did I just go through? What did I just learn? And that's kind of it. Man, I'll come back with you guys. I gotta cross this without getting my feet wet. So I didn't want to talk a lot about what anxiety feels like, because we all go through anxiety at some point in our life, and that's kind of what it feels like coming up into these experiences. But specifically in a psychedelic experience, what is causing that anxiety? And I've thought about this a lot, because in my mid-30s, and I've been a enthusiast since like 18 or 19. So many things in your life cause that, like how you grew up. Are you religious? You might be thinking that you could be doing something terribly bad according to the religion that you were raised. Society has you believe that you're doing terribly awful substances that could be poisonous, or so you have all these underlying thoughts about what you're doing in the back of your head that you don't even realize are there, and it makes you question your own questioning, right? Because that's kind of what you're doing. You're being inquisitive with these things and seeing a side of the universe not usually revealed, and you are feeling that anxiety because of that. Because prop plane out here, okay. You're feeling that anxiety because it's something you can't pin. You can't put your finger on it. You won't be able to fully explain it. It's just, that's daunting. That's really anxious feeling. Something you can't fully comprehend, and you're about to embark on it, right? And it could possibly even be against the norms you thought you were raised upon, because what happens in these experiences is it shatters those ideas in the first place. All these norms and ideas you built up around people or societal structures, institutions, identities. It can kind of show you how not real those are, and that builds anxiety. You worry because everything you've gone through in the past X months, years since your last experience, you're worried about that again being rejected and not having any value. Maybe in another video I'll tell you my personal anxieties that I have. That is really personal information. That's like, what are you most sensitive about when partaking on such a powerful experience? Like, identifying that is very vulnerable. That's kind of why I don't necessarily want to talk about it in this video, but I can talk about what you do with those feelings and how you can, acknowledge them and move past them, right? Just like meditation, mindfulness, the transientness of your emotions, understanding that the anxiety itself won't be there permanently either. Even in the experience, worst case scenario, that anxiety builds and builds into a peak crescendo, and it kind of just consumes a part of your experience, but it goes away eventually too. Like my worst trips, that's happened, and like the paranoia and the wanting to solve it all and wanting for your past perspective to fit what's being introduced to you via chemicals or an actual spiritual experience, whatever you want to fucking call it. I feel it's a real experience regardless. But I kind of lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. It's, I believe I was talking about how to get over these powerful feelings, and meditation has really helped me understand it. Like, even me being angry, even me being mad at someone, frustrated at myself. Oh, these are, I can't identify these for you guys because I don't want to create harmful content, but I just found some cool. Again, distracted. So meditation has taught me that, you know, my emotions can come and go too, with some breath work, some time, some space, giving it some space. Even that anxiety, if you just kind of sit there with yourself and kind of let these daunting thoughts that might be trapping you in this anxiety thought loop, kind of just let those kind of worry themselves out and fade away, and just let other thoughts or no thoughts come into realization, and let those go too. And you can kind of see thoughts, the more you do this, like sort of like waves in the ocean, just coming and they go, they crash, and here comes another one, goes and crashes, and here comes another one. And eventually, you know, the anxiety wave is not really a big deal. It's just another one of those many thoughts that you have that comes, builds up, crashes on you. You've thought about it, you've experienced it, it's caused some emotional reactions. You just let that go and let the next one happen. That's kind of how the brain works. And you have to let that anxiety that you're feeling build up kind of just pass over you. It's like any other thought, any other emotion. It's not entirely real. It too is transient. It too, like your anger, if you give it time, fades away, and you realize, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done this and this and this, and I could have done this and this and this. Maybe I should just say sorry right now, right? And that's kind of how the anxiety is. Eventually you're like, I didn't need to be this anxious about this. And you don't, right? You don't. So like I said, I don't want to identify these to anyone. These grow off fallen oak and pine trees, and they grow on those high humidity. They are not, I don't know what I can say without getting, you know, in trouble, guys. I can't say much. I'm gonna stop there. But this is a good find. This is a good find. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the best advice is everything is transient, including your feelings and emotions and your worries. You can let them wash away, and remember that it's okay to just jump into those deep waters. Even if you think your anxieties will follow you in those deep waters, which they often do. Again, they're transient, they will crash upon you, and you'll have a different wave coming your way, and that might be a very euphoric wave, or a very like happy wave triggered by happy thoughts, or a happy visual, or your imagination just taking you somewhere you didn't expect. And what do you know, eventually that crashes too, and you're on to another wave. And that's just how your brain works, especially on these things. That's why meditation is key. It's super helpful. Anyways, I hope that was somewhat helpful. If you guys would like further help with techniques on how to overcome anxiety before and during a trip, just let me know. My main technique is really just meditation, all right? Meditation, and slowing down my breath, maybe counting, even during an experience. If I'm getting overwhelmed, meditation is what I go to, because you can't control much, but you can try and understand that your thoughts they're spiraling, right? And you don't have to try and hold on to every single one of them. That's what's giving you the dread, the dauntingness. It's too much. It is too much to do that. Let it go. Let it go. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Catch you guys in the next one. Can you believe they're just walking in 90-degree heat like it's nothing?